What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the Get It Right Saturday Night Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Francis, here with Colin Fursley,
What's up?
Oscar Morale,
Hey guys, how you doing?
and finally making his debut on the Get It Right Saturday Night Podcast, the long-awaited, the Marco Neto. Welcome.
Hi, 5'10". Wait, 200.
Woo, baby. Welcome.
Popping, guys. Super happy to be on. Big fan of the show. Let's get it.
Let's do it, baby. Let's go.
All right. Well, let's kick off the third episode with the NBA. So, we got the in-season tournament, the first time in NBA's history that this is going on. So, how do you guys think about the in-season tournament, and what teams are you guys really looking out for?
You know, it's I'm kind of starting to like it. You know, at first I thought it was kind of like a dumb idea, like they're doing a tournament inside of the season that doesn't count for playoffs. But now that you look at it, it's pretty interesting because it's just playing like regular season games with more of an intention to win besides having a good record and making it to the playoffs. So I think it's pretty cool when teams really decide starting to take it like, further and further, and the fact that most of the teams are within each other's conference. It's nice as well. So I'm starting to like it a little bit more, and basically whoever's gonna go 5-0 undefeated in those span of games, they could lose every other game except those 5 games, and they'll be the champions. So it's an interesting take, and I'm curious how they'll take it on in the future.
Mark, let's keep it a beat. All right. We both know. Everybody in here knows. Ain't nobody give no damn about no in-season tournament.
Bro.
Right? Nah. Like, let's keep it a beam for you. Like, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna keep it 100. Nobody cares. All right. The players don't care. The managers don't care. The coaches don't care. The viewers don't care. And I know you saw those ugly courts.
They were those are bad.
Those
Bro,
2K,
the ugly courts. Dude, the
Some of them
ugly
were
uniforms,
bad.
bro. Have you
I'm
seen
sorry,
the
bro.
city jerseys?
If they
Yeah,
really
though, the
wanted to
city-
make a promotional aspect out of that, at
I'm
least the
sorry.
Heat court was really ugly, guys.
No. The whole like entire NBA. I don't think there was a good court. Like they look like the 2K courts you play
Yeah.
in like
Sprite back like the
yeah for
the
real in, like
weird,
Hyde Park or something. Like
I'm not sure if you guys saw, but like the super light blue ones that are like all light blue and the jerseys are blue too. How are you supposed to see the players? That's
bro, it looks
pretty
like a my
interesting.
team court. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
just keep it a bean.
yeah. Well,
Look,
I mean, Marco, go ahead.
I think that this is twofold. I'll play devil's advocate from what, Oscar, I'll echo what, Oscar was saying in some aspects of what Mark was saying. I will say that from a promotional standpoint, I really do feel like it could be useful for the NBA. I feel like a lot of fans, a lot of people in this, this digital age in general have a really, small attention span, and they're always craving new.
No, Colin. Yeah, that one. That Bulls one
you know,
is so
anything new.
ugly. What is that? Because they're all wearing red jerseys too. They're all wearing red jerseys.
Yeah, I
The
don't
ball's being shot from the ground. I mean, I don't know how you can tell, like, who the player is. Yo, where's DeMar DeRozan? I don't know. Someone just shot the ball. I don't know.
Oh,
No,
man.
and like it's
This one's a
you,
lot.
you want to know what the most
Yeah.
frustrating thing is? It's a waste of time for the players. I don't know if you guys saw that clip of the Clippers rotation player, the bench player, saying he didn't even know they were playing an in-season tournament game until they told him in the middle of the game.
That's funny.
Well, I
And
think
he
that's
asked-
where it becomes twofold because I
Yeah,
really feel like
look at
this-
this. I'm sorry,
this-
Marco. Hold on. Look at this. What the heck is this?
No, that's
That's bad. That's so bad. That's the Ukrainian flag. Like,
no, it's the
that's just-
Bahamas. That's the Bahamian flag.
dude, let's go to the Bahamas.
Throwback to my boy Mr. Sands. I am Bahamian.
Marco, what were you gonna say?
No, I'll just, I feel like for the players, there's really no incentive to really care about it. I really feel like it bothers me because it takes away from the fabric of what the NBA is. I feel like it's an age-old league of tradition. I don't feel like it's cool that they're trying to adapt it in some way, but I really do feel like there's nothing really in it for the players. Now, if we would say that there's certain bonuses associated or
I believe there
different
is though.
incentives, I don't
No,
think it's
yes.
enough for anybody to care.
You know
I'm
what?
Yeah.
sure
I
there
agree.
is.
I agree
There's
with Marco.
not enough for anything to care.
There's no incentives. Do you want to know what the reward is for winning the in-season tournament?
Isn't
Do
it
you
$1
gu- do
million?
any- oh, wait. Before I tell you guys, do any of you know what the reward is for the in-season tournament?
I
No.
believe what I heard was that it was $1 million, I believe.
Marco, what do you think? Do you know the reward? No, you
I
have
I
no
have no
idea.
idea.
It's $500,000 per player. That's all it is.
Bro, Kevin Durant makes that every 2 games. Like what?
Like
Yeah, so
literally.
that's where
So if
I
there's
think you're borderlining on being insulted because these guys are making
right. So go ahead,
tens of
Marco.
millions
Yeah,
of
yeah.
dollars.
So for a star player, you mentioned Kevin Durant, Curry, LeBron. They're not gonna care because it's literally 2 games worth of money for them, right?
Yeah.
You said it yourself. They make it 2 games, and the bench players, maybe you can make the argument. Maybe they can they will play more scrappy. They'll want it more because it's a
Yeah.
good bonus for them. If I actually read a statistic, so if you make $2 million per season, as an NBA player and you win the in-season tournament, those 500K counts for 20 games worth of your salary. So it
Yeah.
is quite a bit for a rotation player, but even then, the rotation players are already going to want to be hungry and playing scrappy to A, get paid more during the regular season, and B, get actual minutes so that they can be more successful in the NBA. So like Marco was saying, like it's just very insulting. Yeah. What is that? Wait, no, go back.
This is the
What is
Spurs.
that?
That
This
honestly
this
looks like the
That
World
is
Cup.
so
That,
like
That's the
that looks like
ugly.
Spurs?
it's the
that looks like
Spurs.
the
What
flag
is
of
that?
Cameroon
It looks
in the
like
World Cup.
a
Like,
Seattle. It looks like if Seattle was
Yeah,
still
that's what
playing.
I thought too, actually. And then I read San Antonio on the baselines.
San Antonio doesn't even have a needle. Like what's the needle for? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. You know,
is that Toronto? San
Yeah,
Antonio?
it looks
is?
more like the Toronto.
It could be
Yeah.
Toronto or Seattle because they're the only 2 cities that I could think
No,
of
but it
in
says
have a
San
needle.
Antonio.
franchises with a needle.
I know, right?
You see,
You
but
know,
that's the thing. If you're gonna do something like that on the marketing end, it's a complete lack of intentionality too, because you're trying to hook people in. I think it's an eyesore to watch on TV. We saw the Ukrainian debauchery we just saw. Like, I mean, respectfully, like I don't even know who's shooting. Like I don't want
I
to watch.
I don't want to. My eyes are gonna hurt from watching that. I feel like the only big thing that will benefit this if there is some like let's say a team that made it to the playoffs won the most games in the the tournament, right? So maybe they get home court advantage or something. Like there has to be some incentive that goes
Right.
past the regular season. But
Okay,
then let's say
I
like a
agree.
scrub team like the Detroit Pistons win this tournament and then they don't even make it to the playoffs. I mean, there's no correlation between this and then going into the playoffs where it all really counts, where every game matters. It's win or go home.
So,
And that's
so here's what I was thinking to kind of piggyback off of that. I think if they changed it to guaranteed home court regardless of seeding, I think people would actually compete for that because that's something
Yeah.
that's going to affect you in the playoffs. So let's say like you're the 3rd seed going up against the 1 seed in the conference finals. Even though you're the 3rd seed, you'll have home court because you won the in-season tournament. So
Yeah.
that would be a cool aspect that could come into play. Or let's say, well, like you said, maybe like some trash team wins it, like the
just
Detroit
go down the
Pistons.
list until there's a team in
Yeah,
the playoff, the
no, or
second best
Detroit
team.
Pistons.
Yeah.
Then you give them either a shot, or give them guaranteed play-in spot, or a guaranteed A seed. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can work that out somehow to where they can compete for a playoff spot if they're not like automatic, like if they didn't qualify for it, but they
Yeah.
won the in-season tournament. I mean,
Yeah, I'll keep it a buck in that aspect too. If I'm gonna put myself in the shoes of one of these blue chip players that hasn't gotten a chip yet, I'm just gonna use Damian Lillard as an example. He pretty much uprooted his career right now to go to the Bucks. If I'm him, I don't give a rat's about this tournament. And if it did, again, if it did have some sort of playoff implication, if it had something worthwhile, maybe. But I just think it's
It just
overall
doesn't.
it's distracting. I think it's distracting for a blue chip player like him. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a lot of other examples. I would feel like if I'm Damian Lillard and I'm making 40, 50, I don't even know. I mean, Giannis is probably making close to 60 a year. It's chump change, and it really defeats, the the tradition of, the hardwood.
purpose.
honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, if
I agree. Speaking of,
again with like the play-in tournament, right? Like that's such a great addition to give a team a shot to be able to make it to the playoffs, right?
I love
But
I love the play-in.
That was good.
if you have some sort of incentive like that, where a team that doesn't make the playoffs from each the two teams from the East and the West that, for example, didn't make the playoffs but had good records in this tournament, right? The in-season tournament, they get a shot in the play-in and they face each other, and then whoever wins throughout the play-in goes into the playoffs. I mean, that's incentives that would motivate a team that you know is mid, that you know that would either win some games and wouldn't win, right? I mean, look at the Atlanta Hawks. I think that's a great team to compare because they're in that position right now.
I would stand behind that in the sense that maybe you alter the play-in format a little bit, whereas rather the teams looking outside get that seed. If you really dog it out in this, in-season tournament, you get, automatic placement, and maybe that doesn't, if you're already in those top 8 teams, that wouldn't mean anything for you. But let's say the highest seeded teams that don't make that final 8 are able to face off with each other based on, merit alone, merit in this in-season tournament. If I was a team that was, I've been tanking for a couple years, we can't get ourselves off the ground for some reason, I would, that's better. That's better for me if I know I'm gonna go maybe 14th, 15th, maybe the bottom of the conference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's talk about
Yep.
those city jerseys, man. Like,
They're interesting.
I don't
had
know,
to,
man.
if you had to pick 3, which ones would y'all pick? If you
I've
Okay.
always loved
someone
vintage
gun
Utah.
to your head, you have to buy 3 jerseys, otherwise.
Okay, I will say that there are a couple of them that are good. For
Yeah.
me, that would be H-Town, Houston Rockets right here.
I agree.
Nice.
I like it. I think it's cool. Boston's
gotta
just
go with-
clean. It's regular
yeah.
Boston.
I'm taking Utah, man. I
The
love
Jazz one,
the
yeah,
mountain.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
would
Jazz one is good, and honestly,
the
I
Suns as well,
think
low key.
Yeah,
where's the
that's
Suns
tough.
at?
The Valley.
No, I don't like
I
it.
hate the Heat one. The
I
Heat
don't
one
like
looks
it.
like a T-shirt.
The Heat one is atrocious.
Heat one looks like a
Honestly,
t-shirt.
Yeah.
they're
so is
they're
that
all
Los
pretty
Angeles
bad.
It's
one.
it's an interesting concept because yeah, Heat culture. Okay, the fans of the Heat were very strong, but it's not
No,
Miami. It doesn't represent
it's
Miami.
cringe. It's
It's
way too cringe,
like
bro.
why do you have a quote from like Denzel Washington written on the court? Like no one's gonna read that during the game. These players gotta play. Heat culture. Bring back the Vice jerseys. I mean that
Bro, bring back the
I
freaking
was-
mustard
I-
jersey,
that
bro. Like bring
that
back
the
anything,
mustard
bro.
jersey was
Mustard
great.
jersey.
It's an insane jersey, but man, it was clean. But dude, you gotta bring back these old jerseys. Do what the
I
fan
hate the Denver
wants.
Nuggets one too. Let me just keep it a buck. Like everybody knows
I hate the Denver Nuggets in
5,280 feet in
general,
a
by the way.
mile. Like it's just like
If
I
I
can't, like,
if I
like, what
had to
else is there, like,
choose
like
if I had to choose 3, I mean the Boston one is clean, but
Yeah, the
it's like
Boston one's
it's a
clean.
Bucks jersey, but if it were from Boston, that's what I see
Okay,
it as.
Yeah,
look,
I see
look.
that as well.
I kind of like the
Atlanta.
Nola one. I could get behind that.
I like the Milwaukee one.
Atlanta literally
It's
put
very
Times New
retro.
Roman on
Yeah,
a jersey and said,
Atlanta.
"Screw it."
Yeah, exactly. The Nets. I mean, like my 2-year-old brother could have drawn that. Like
Because
whatever.
Colin, because you said Boston, and also because screw the C's. Me and my homies hate
Yeah.
the C's.
Okay.
Boston.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Milwaukee. I'm not gonna
You
lie.
wait. You like
I
Milwaukee?
feel like I've seen
Yeah.
that Milwaukee
Bro,
jersey
that's like
before, though. That's not
like some
inventive.
that's like some pre-K like space like
Nah, it's
glitter
retro.
jersey.
It's retro. It looks retro. I
No,
like
it's
it.
not.
Wait,
okay.
how about the
I don't
tech spacing? How about the tech spacing on the Lakers one? Like
Yeah,
that looks
no,
like somebody was on
it's awful.
Canva and
It's
like
awful.
they have Tourette's. Like,
Dude,
Okay.
Look at-
I watched a video. I watched a video that compared the Lakers one to having those little letter magnets on your fridge when you were little, and you just
Yes.
like place
Yeah.
them
Yes.
wherever
Yes.
the
Yeah.
heck.
I-
That's that one.
Like yeah,
Chicago.
that's
like,
just honestly,
why
I think
did you do
Chicago
that?
is
There's
probably
so
worse
much
than Heat
empty
culture. Like I'm gonna be
Yeah.
so real.
Yeah.
Like
Just
you
very-
literally went from horizontal to vertical and said screw it and kept the number in the middle.
Also,
like,
so many
there's
of them are
nothing
black,
nice about
like that hideous shade of
Yeah.
black.
Like some like for
I wanna
example,
see different
Denver's
colorways
regular
together.
jerseys that say mile high, like that's clean. Like that
Yeah.
represents Denver. That's the city. That's nice. Okay.
Yeah, Mark. I would
And then-
go. You know what, Colin? You convinced me. I would get rid of the Milwaukee one, and I would go in this order. I would get the Cleveland one, the New York one. I like the effect the New York one has, kind of like
That is cool.
Spider-Man into Spider-Verse kind of effect, where the animation like pops in and out. And the Utah one, I like the Utah one. I think it's the best one.
Utah's nice, yeah. You know what's interesting? If you look at H-Town, it really reminds me of the retro Heat jerseys with
That-
Yeah,
the
that's what I
That's
thought.
with
that's what I was gonna
with
say.
That's-
I
I
think
was
Colin
thinking
picked it
Lonnie
because it looks like
Seifert,
the Vice City
Hardaway,
one.
those
with the
guys.
writing, but it has the style of the retro Heat jerseys, but with the writing of
Of
the
the
Miami
Vice,
Vice
yeah.
jerseys.
Yeah,
So they copied what Miami had, put it in red, took out the blue, and said, "Screw it, this is our jersey."
yeah.
That sucks. And and I can't lie, like the Clippers one, I think it's interesting. Clips, all right? I don't know if
No,
you guys,
it's
if
not. It
you
looks like you're
you
going in
people
to get a haircut at Great Clips, and that's the
like
uniform they're wearing.
I'm going to Supercuts right now to get a haircut, but
Yeah.
guys, I don't know if you people in Los Angeles call them clips, but that's just really interesting. And San Francisco, like
All right, Mark, off the top of the head right
Come
now,
on.
worst three. Give me your
I'll give you the
Worst-
best three after Mark gives you.
worst three,
Yeah.
Atlanta for sure, in my opinion. Atlanta is trash.
It could be
Yeah.
That's
tough.
disgusting. Orlando,
Yeah.
it's just their basic jersey, except they changed the color to black. I think it's horrible.
Wait,
And-
That's blue. That's not black.
It looks black.
Yeah, it does.
It look
but
it
I don't think the
horrible.
Orlando one is that bad compared to some other ones.
I
on
don't
here.
like it. And then
Hey,
it
stop messing with
really
the hometown team, man.
hometown team, bro. Let's go Heat. And
Yeah,
then
for real, Mark,
and
what
then
are you
I
saying?
think the Lakers one is just bad, man. It's like they looked at the pyramids of Giza and they were like,
And they
let's just
couldn't fit
throw
it on
this
a
on a
jersey.
jersey.
Okay.
Like, bro,
Here are my worst three, like for sure. You said Atlanta, so I'm not gonna say that one, but I would have included it in mine.
yeah.
But I
don't
gotta
think,
go
guys, there's
Memph-
worse than Atlanta.
Yeah, I think so too. Memphis, Los Angeles, and the San Antonio. The San Antonio one looks like a practice squad. Like it's one of those the bips you wear at practice. That's what their jersey looks like.
Yeah. Low key, yeah.
I would probably say my top three. I think it might just because because of the colorways. I really do like OKC. I think that one's tough. I
No,
like
yeah, the
trimming on
OKC one's
edges.
not that bad. I like
I
that.
like the colorway. I would also say low key sleeper. Okay, so my third one would be Utah. I really have, that reminds me of the John Stockton S jerseys from before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mid
I also
80s,
picked those.
90s, the Karl Malone, the Utah Jazz.
Karl
And then I would probably
Malone.
say Mad Sleeper, but I think it's cool. I like Indy. I really do. I think I
No,
could get behind
the
it.
indie one is all right.
Because you see on the
But it's
on the side they kind of have like a yellow
the
speckle
yellow.
thing.
Not
a
I don't
huge-
know.
Not a huge
It's-
fan of the
it's
font of
alright.
Indy, but
You know
I
what
could
is
get
clean
behind
though?
it.
Low key, Minnesota. Like the
I
little
was
fade.
I was just
Okay,
about to say that.
Low
The
key-
Minnesota, no,
That's
but
the
the
thing. I
Minnes-
feel like I've
clean.
seen
the
it.
Minnesota one kind of looks like a soda can. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna lie.
But hey, you know what's interesting? If you look at Sacramento Kings, right? It looks like they just copied the Clippers away jersey and then wrote Kings on it, basically. Like when I looked at that, I thought of the Clippers immediately.
Yeah.
I just wanna
Sacramento,
see something
light the
inventive,
beam,
though.
right? The purple. Incorporate some purple in there.
I
Like-
like the beam. I like it's like
I like it too.
It's
It's
part
I
of
just
their-
thought they were
their
gonna do
stadium. It's
something
cool.
more inventive. Like I'll keep it a buck. Like I feel like I've seen that Milwaukee jersey before. I feel like I've seen in some way, shape, or form, something like that with the Nets. Like I feel like I've seen something.
The Utah and Toronto ones as well. I would
They
Like-
also
took-
say
but-
that's
like
about
Buzz
it.
the
City,
Orlando Magic one.
Buzz-
that's
Buzz
pretty
City,
much
that's the
font that they
Hornets.
use on the side
That's
of their
the-
buses, and they
is-
just slap
That's
it on.
that's Charlotte Hornets. That's the same jersey
I
they've
was about
used
to
for the
say,
last
is it
10
not
years.
the same jersey they've
That's
used?
like the
just instead of
same
it saying
exact
Charlotte,
thing.
it just says Buzz
Design
City.
team said,
Yeah.
I don't care. Let's submit the first JPEG we find when I look up
Bro,
OG jersey.
the design team really saw the assignment was due at 11:59 and started working at 11:58. Like that's what
Yeah.
happened there.
Literally, exactly.
Yeah, Clips looks like they literally they changed the orientation from the from the sports clips to this at the
Yeah.
edge. Like, wait, but excuse my ignorance, but what's the one in between Orlando and the Suns? Brotherly what? Like, what is that? Like,
Because they're the city of brotherly love. That's Philadelphia.
that's god awful.
Philly,
Yeah,
That
that's
is
Philly.
so random. There's
Philly
so
of-
many other
Philly is-
associations.
Philly
Like-
of brotherly love.
I can bring
The
over
city,
my
city,
my
city,
roommate
yeah.
next door. He's born and raised in Philly. He will come over and laugh at this right now. Like, it's just
You know what I think would be a really cool concept for the NBA or the NFL or the MLB to do? Cross like cross sports jerseys. Like
That would be cool.
imagine right now Miami Dolphin colors on the Miami Heat jerseys. Or imagine a
How
mix
about
of the
Miami Heat and
Marlins,
Inter Miami?
right?
The
Or
Yeah.
Vice, the
or
two pinks.
like just I think the Miami Heat Vice colorways, right? With some Dolphins incorporated and some Marlins incorporated. I mean, if you
That
mix
could be
sports
cool.
together
Yeah.
and then make an actual city jersey, I think that's the seller. I think everyone in every one of these cities would buy it. Like look at Boston. Imagine
I
the
could get
Celtics,
behind
right?
that.
And then the Red Sox.
Boston's got
Like
such a big market for that
and
because
then
they're
the
yeah.
Pats, like all different colorways, but you mix it all together,
That
you
would
make something
that
cool.
Mark, you would make a lot of money in the Northeast with that. Like
Oh yeah.
New York, Boston, and
Oh yeah.
Philadelphia. Oh
Very
my
New York
deep-rooted
God.
cities
especially.
with a lot of
Yeah.
sports culture.
New
So
York with in New York, imagine, right? The Mets, okay? The Knicks and then the Giants.
Well, nah.
And then you have the
I don't think New York would use the Mets though. I think they'd use the Yankees.
No, because New York and Mets have the same colorway, and then you have the Brooklyn Nets with the Yankees and with the Jets.
Oh, I guess.
I think it would be cool. I don't know. I'm trying to visualize it in my head. If they made some sort of a crossover with like the marlin fish like this at the slant, the dolphins fish goes like this, and they
Mhm.
like cross in some sort of like like a crest type of thing. I feel
I
like the
think
other
that'd be
thing too
so
is
cool.
that maybe we're used to this as primarily, correct me if I'm wrong, like we're primarily like, at least as of late, football fans, at least
Yeah.
during this part of the year. I would say that by doing something like that, a crossover, not only does that link community together, that also gets fans from other sports to check out the other teams as well
Exactly.
I think it's
in their
I think
market.
Exactly.
it's
It's a
awesome.
good it's
You
a
you
good
you're,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you're opening up a market
imagine the
that's
That's
MLS.
a
vast.
really good idea.
The
Yeah.
MLS, people are little by little learning more about the MLS, and of course, with Messi coming to Inter Miami, people are noticing it a little more. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
people are learning about it. If you have this is what I would call City Connect. This is City Connect jerseys. If you have all these different teams connected together and making one that would be like, look at
Oh
that.
my God. I
Look at
was
that. If the Dolphins went out on Sunday night football or Thursday night prime time football in
With those
those
jerseys, that would be crazy.
that I would spend the if I had only $170 left and the jersey costs $169.99, I would buy that jersey. I would
look,
do it.
the City Connect is the best way I would put it because maybe it's not universal because we're for the most part equal opportunity sports fans, but let's say I'm like an MLS guy that like I only watch. Maybe I'm not even an MLS guy. I'm a soccer guy. I watch La Liga. I watch Premier League on Saturdays. Like you know what I mean. Like, and
Yeah.
I see something with the NFL. I'm like, all right, I'll tune into the Dolphins. The amount of people that would also be thinking like that guy. I mean, obviously, like these are already cash cows of organizations, but
Yeah.
think about like I would be curious to see what the figures would look like in terms of revenue if you see that viewership spike on both
Like
ends of the spectrum.
imagine in the Super Bowl, right? Or imagine in the World Series. The World Series, the team has to play 4 games when they have to win 4 games. Imagine every game, it's a themed jersey from the city. So game 1, the Marlins are playing as the Marlins, right? Game 2, they're playing as the Heat. Game 3, they're playing as the Dolphins, like different set colorways for their city connect. Like
Well,
that
I
would be
think
kind of cool.
well, Mark, that'd be cool, but I think they wouldn't do for something like that for the World Series. Like
I think they could. I think that'd be pretty
I
interesting.
don't know. I mean, the World Series is the World Series. That's baseball's upper echelon. That's the elite of the elite right there.
Yeah. But still, it's cool. Like
But
imagine the
I think
Super Bowl or
they
the
could do that in
NBA
like a
Baseball
Finals.
sucks.
No, I think they could do that in like a regular season game. I don't think they'll ever do that in like a Super Bowl or finals.
You never know. It all depends on how much viewership and how many people view the games. And I'm not sure if you guys heard, but this
The
World
NBA,
Series
yeah.
was the least viewed World Series since 2016 or something like that, which is insane.
Yeah, my
Because
fault.
Yeah.
it was
Facts,
yeah,
same.
My fault.
Yeah,
it's pretty
well,
interesting.
speaking of the World Series, the baseball season is done, but they're still giving out some awards, like
Oh yeah.
MVP. So,
Who
so
cares?
some of them were given out already. For example, today as we're filming this, the
Silver
The Silver
Sluggers.
Slugger Awards were
Congrats
announced
to
and
Luis
and
Arias from the Marlins.
yep. So and also the Gold Glove Awards were also announced already. So Mark, what are you thinking about with these awards? Do you disagree with some of them?
Let's take a look here and see. Uh,
That's big for Arias. That's
yeah,
really big.
it's nice for Arias. I think I definitely agree with that. You know, Silver Slugger. I'm glad that Acuna and Mookie Betts both got it because they both are the best hitters in the league, and Bryce Harper as well as designated hitter. Cody Bellinger as a utility. I think that's an interesting pick. You know, Cody Bellinger did all right for the second half, and you know, I'm not too fond of that. Maybe I would have liked to seen Trey Turner on there for the Silver Slugger. I feel like he did pretty well the second half of the season. And the team, the Braves, of course, I can definitely agree with that. I mean, their team was absolutely insane. That's for the NL. And, you know, AL, of course, you got to have Shohei Ohtani. You know, it's pretty interesting. Julio Rodriguez, of course. Luis Roberts, you know, he's in an interesting position, and he's not being utilized well enough. And Adley Rutschman, of course, is the best catcher. You know, that guy was hitting bombs, and Orioles, they like him. Orioles have a good building up team, and you know, I think they'd be really good for the rest of the year. I don't like as a Gold Glove Fernando Tatis in right field. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think so. I think there's other options that are better. Fernando Tatis Jr. I think he fell off a lot, and I'm not a big fan of that. Zach Wheeler, I can agree on that, and you know, Dansby Swanson as well. You know, some better shortstops that are making better plays, and second baseman Nico Horner. Come on, MLB. Come on, like you have Ozzy Albies. Like that guy was making plays. I mean, I would take him instead. But overall, I think they made some good decisions. There were some guys that I think deserved it even more. But you know, whatever the
Yeah,
committee decides on.
I think what they did though is that they didn't duplicate any of the players. So if you won a Gold Glove, you didn't win any Silver Slugger. Like all of the players are different. Like Mookie Betts definitely deserves a Gold Glove, but he
Yeah,
was awarded the Silver Slugger, and so he didn't get the Gold Glove.
yeah,
So
but you know, it's still interesting because I mean, for example, take a look at Kyle Schwarber, right? Like that guy was
mm,
absolutely raking, okay, and he didn't win any of these, and he was good on
well,
both
he just hit.
sides.
Oh, no.
I
But
was
he
about to
just hit
mention
home.
Kyle Schwarber as a joke that he's like
Yeah,
a
no,
gold.
exactly.
I was about to say that they should make a gold slugger for Kyle Schwarber. 'Cause
Yeah,
that boy, overall, like he's just mad erratic, but when he hits it, he hits
Yeah,
it.
it's
So
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna say, Mark. I don't. Kyle Schwarber hit under 200. I think he hit 198. He just hit a lot of home runs. He definitely
yeah.
should
But
not
I
have won
mean,
any batting
look at
awards.
Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he basically had
He
the
has a
same
good
thing.
batting average. Shohei Ohtani has a great batting
Yeah, but
average.
then he got injured halfway through the year, and it was dropping while
Yeah,
he was
but
playing.
dude, Kyle Schwarber was batting 198. There's you
But
cannot
how
make
many
you
home runs
can
did he have? 42,
He wasn't leading
something
anyone
like
in
that.
that either.
But still, I mean, he was raking.
Yeah, but you can't.
Shh.
Okay, I think batting average is more important than hitting home runs,
I
and
think
that
so
man
too.
didn't even hit 200. So.
as an equal opportunity sports fan, I just like to see dingers. So I'll take Kyle
I
Schwarber
agree.
over
Bro,
a
I'm out here
consistent
hitting
single and double
absolute
guy.
Yeah,
dingers, and there's
I would rather
nothing you
see a
can do
guy
about it.
go every other game hit an absolute bomb, some absolute like shove that thing upper deck where grandma keeps the oatmeal raisin cookies, like absolute dinger, than a guy that's
Facts.
consistently hitting doubles and singles. And he's good. He's like a mid 300s guy, you know.
On
But
some 2017 Giancarlo Stanton stuff. Like,
Mike Stanton, bro, Mike Stanton. No, I mean
you
I
know,
agree. I
what I
agree.
found
I like
interesting
excitement, you know. So
was that Anthony Volpe was the Gold Glover for shortstop in the AL, and I find that really, really, really interesting because you have players like Bo Bichette and Corey Seager and Bobby Witt Jr. that also were playing
Well,
out of their mind.
Corey Seager won
one,
the
Yeah,
yeah, I
Silver
think
yeah,
Colin
Slugger.
explained
yeah.
it.
Corey Seager won
Because,
the Silver Slugger, but again, you still have like players like Bobby Witt Jr. who are also doing really good as well. And I think probably deserve it a little more than Anthony Volpe, but again, he's a rookie. Congrats to him, and I'm excited to see how he's going to play out. And curious how the Yankees are going to do that over the next few years.
I mean, the Yankees didn't even make the playoffs, so MLB had to put a Yankees player
yeah, well,
doing
because they
some
love the
award.
Yankees regardless. I mean, they're just going to keep.
One of the biggest sports franchises
Yep.
in the world.
I hate
Yep.
the
Well,
Yankees.
besides these awards, there are also others that have not been announced yet. So, Mark, American League MVP finalists are Shohei Ohtani, Corey Seager, and Marcus Semien. Who do you think is going to win this award?
I'm taking Hanley Ramirez from the Marlins a couple years ago.
I think it's.
Sorry.
It's gonna be between Shohei and Corey Seager, but I really think they're gonna give it to Shohei. He's just all around
Yeah.
player, and
Absolutely.
I don't think
Really?
it'll be unanimous. But I think for the
I think
NL,
Seager might edge it out.
Really? I think, I mean, dude,
it's
they
a hot
just.
take.
I
I
just
I
think
think
so.
Shohei
I
is
think
a generational
I think
player.
recency bias might come into play.
Maybe.
Let's see.
That
I
is
don't know. This would be
that
interesting.
is a good point. Recency bias is important, but even as someone that didn't follow the MLB a whole lot this month, this season, just to see a guy that, as an athlete, like forget about, externalize it from the MLB itself. He's just a freak of an athlete and what he's been able to,
Yeah, he's
accomplish.
insane.
I agree. Yeah.
But definitely Marcus Semien, he was a part of one of the teams that, ended up.
You know what's
sticking
cool?
it out to
I'm
the
not
end,
sure if you
so.
guys noticed, but on both on the AL and NL, there are two players from the same team, both nominated for the award, and I like that. It's really cool. That shows these teams have stars, and it's a nice feature for the the league in general. I think NL. I think it's gonna be Ronald Acuna. I think it should be unanimous. To be completely
I
honest,
agree.
I mean Mookie Betts, a heck of a season. I mean,
Yeah, I think so
he
too. I
was
mean, the Braves
playing
had the
out
best
of his
record in the
mind.
league, so
This guy,
Yeah.
this guy broke
Adam
records.
Duvall.
This guy broke records. Adam Duvall, man, you can't sleep on Duvall. But I think Acuna unanimous for the NL, and moving into the Cy Youngs. I mean, both. I mean, a lot of these pitchers deserve it, and I really think for the AL, it's gonna be a really tough decision for these guys because you can go Garrett Cole, or you can go Sonny Gray. I think Sonny Gray, he's a good pick as well there. And in the NL, I would love to see Zach Gallen take it. I mean, he played out of his mind this year. His ERA was super low. Same thing with Blake Snell, but I think Zach Gallen takes it, and it's not going to be unanimous, but I think definitely Zach Gallen. I'd love to see that.
And then also Rookie of the Years, we got Tanner Bibby, Tristan Cassis, and Gunnar Henderson for the American League. I think Gunnar Henderson is going to win this one.
Yeah,
The
I
Orioles
think Gunnar
just
Henderson
played
as well
way
will take
too
that.
well for them to give it to anyone else.
Yeah,
And then in the National League,
it's
I mean,
Corbin
you
Carroll.
got to give
I
it to
mean,
Corbin Carroll. I think
it's to be
that's
Corbin
unanimous.
Carroll, guys. I mean, come on.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's
And
not
then
even a question.
American
Managers.
League Manager of the Year, Bruce Bochy, Kevin
Skippy.
Cash, or Brandon Hyde.
No, it
I would-
has to be Bruce Bochy.
It's either
Yeah.
Bruce or
It has
Brandon
to be.
Hyde, but I think they go Bruce here. I mean, he just
I feel
this-
like they like to give it to like the underdog managers as well. So the Orioles used to be bad, and then Brandon Hyde comes in, and now they're really good. But I
Yeah.
still think Bruce.
Same
Bochy
thing happened with
definitely
Bochy though. I mean, the Rangers weren't bad, but
Yeah,
he comes in and freaking wins the World Series with them.
yeah.
yeah, that is true.
And
And then in the National League,
now
very exciting for Marlins fans. Skip Schumacher is
Woo!
a finalist for
yeah,
National League Manager of the Year, but he's going up against Craig Counsell from the Brewers and Brian Snicker from the Braves. So I don't really know how that's going to shake out.
I honestly, I would love to see Skip Schumacher take it. Brian's
He has
alright.
a chance, but I think
He's-
Brian, Snicker is gonna take it.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I think anyone could manage the Braves right now, and they would still be the number 1 and number 2 seeds. To be completely honest, I don't see how this guy should be nominated for it.
I'm
He's
seeing a
so
Tyronn
real.
Lue in the Cavaliers parallel here. A team with that caliber, all you need is a puppet to stand there and do stuff. Choose from
Tyronn Lue
some
was the
power
puppet.
seats
LeBron
And-
was the
whatnot.
manager.
And
coach.
Craig
LeBron was the
Counsell.
coach of those teams.
The Brewers were also good too. Yeah, he led a great team. Kudos to him. But the Marlins have not made the playoffs since the 2020 season, and Marlins usually
but
suck.
that season was shortened.
Yeah,
as
that was
well.
a
Like,
shortened
that
down
wasn't a real
season. Right? I mean, Skip Schumacher, he turned his team around. I mean, really. And, I think deservingly, I would go with Skip Schumacher. I'm not trying to be biased, but deservingly, yeah. You could probably throw in some high school baseball coach from Miami Cole Park Senior High School, right, to manage the Braves, and they would still be great because that's just what I think
Hey, they got a
personally. But
really
Yeah.
well-rounded team.
yeah,
They've been
absolutely.
great ever since they won the World Series. They've been in the mix.
Yep, absolutely.
I agree.
Well, we'll see how that shakes out. I think they'll be announced in just
I
under a week
believe
or
I believe
so.
next week, the 14th, 15th, and 16th is when they'll be announcing them. So exciting news.
Interesting.
Congrats to everyone
Well-
nominated, and good luck. We hope you
Yep.
tune into the Get It Right Saturday Night podcast.
Well, all right. Next, we're gonna move into the football portion. So we'll talk about college football first. There are a few interesting matchups this week 11 of the college football season. First up, we will talk about the matchup that means the most for us Miami boys. We got University of Miami playing against the Florida State Seminoles, and this is gonna be a really
This is
good
be
game
a-
to watch, I think.
Man,
This is gonna be an absolute massacre, guys. I mean,
This
I'm
is-
paralleling this to I gotta say War of 1812 tech. I gotta take, I mean, this is gonna be I mean, the Hurricanes are gonna be I don't even know, dude. I hate to call out
Miami always
country,
rallies a
but
great game against FSU. Let's just
I
say
don't
that
know.
right now. real quick.
Maybe they will overperform for what the expectation is, but
So-
with a team like Florida State, I put Florida State even higher than 4 in my own national ranking if I were
Yeah,
to do it right now.
I do
So
as
As
well.
the
they're
resident,
unstoppable right now.
as the resident UM student of the podcast, currently attending UM, we are either going to get absolutely manhandled and slaughtered, or the biggest joke victory to ever happen. Like, we're gonna win in the funniest, weirdest way, and it's gonna affect FSU because does it knock them out of the top 4? Or
I think it
how
does.
how would that
if they
work?
lose.
Yeah.
I think Washington goes up to the top, to the
There's
4th spot.
There's the concentration of talent in the top 10 right now is almost
Yeah.
you're walking on eggshells right now if I'm
Yeah.
if I'm in the top 10. If I'm in the
I-
top 4, I'm walking on
For
eggshells.
I think
this is such an amazing. Sorry, Colin. Let me
no, you're good.
real quickly for UM. This is a low risk, high reward game, but for FSU, it's the opposite.
It's a high risk, low
low
reward.
reward, and that's why it's
And they're-
absolutely amazing.
If they win, they're probably still gonna stay at 4. They're not gonna go anywhere. They might even drop out. They might throw Washington in there for 1 week just to troll these guys. Like, you never know if they both win. Like, who knows at this point?
Yeah.
They just love
I-
trolling.
I think besides the Ohio State Michigan game, I think if any of the top 4 teams lose one game, they're not in the playoff.
Yeah, I
Because
absolutely
Right
We
agree.
now.
got Washington,
Yeah,
and Oregon behind them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, after this game, I think one game that has a lot more playoff implications is Michigan versus Penn State.
biggest game of the weekend for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Michigan's first game of the entire season. Their 10th game of the season. This is the first time they're actually playing an opponent, like someone that's actually knows
I
how to
agree.
play football. And I think this
We
actually might be
talked
their
about that,
first
Colin.
ranked team anyway. So this will be their first real test if Michigan is for real or not.
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting game. Michigan's been in a lot of talk and drama lately with their stealing of signs and all these different things. So, I think a win would be nice to prove that, they're not just stealing signs from Penn State and, Wichita, Texas University, I don't know, some random
I think
northeastern Texas. Like,
I think
hey,
Colin
let's leave
put it
Wichita
best.
alone.
When the lights are the brightest, the real performers will come out to play,
yeah.
and
Hey,
we'll
and-
see if Michigan is
and-
about it or not.
Penn State is one of the toughest environments to play in all of college football.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it is loud, it is rowdy. If it's a whiteout game and they're playing Mo Bamba, I'm sorry. There's no that is going to be an insane environment, and we have seen this before. We've seen this matchup before. We've seen that famous clip when they're playing Mo Bamba and Michigan had to call a timeout because they can't hear through their head what's going on. They can't hear, right? This is going to happen again. If Penn State wins this game, this is going to be a great game. I mean, honestly,
I can
I'm
echo
gonna put
that.
it on just so I can
Yeah,
hear Mo
no.
Bamba playing all day.
Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing game.
I go.
I would say that with a team like Michigan, every
And
time I've looked in the last couple weeks at the college football rankings, Michigan is somehow still solidified at 2. In my opinion, a lot of the time I think it's unwarranted. So this is their first real
no,
chance. Me and
and you know
Paul were on the
what? I
phone a
think
little bit ago, and we were
yeah, you're
looking at
right. You're right,
their
Marco.
their trajectory, and they really have had a relatively easy road to get to this game. So definitely not easy to go into Penn State and get a win on the road like that at this late in the game, November 11th. So I'm interested to see what happens.
I think something interesting that some people were talking about was about Jim Harbaugh, and I think if this year if they get out of playoff contention, right, or they don't even win the college football championship, I think he's gonna coach in the NFL next year. In the next 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
interesting take.
But
That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, this game's really good. Michigan has something to prove here, and surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, but Penn State could have a lot to gain if they win. I mean, they're ranked.
whoa,
They're
we
they're
are Penn
UCF
State.
Knights.
their ranking
uh,
could shoot up.
I could
yeah, that is true.
with the win here, I think Penn State is on the outside looking in. I say they jump to depending on how, teams like Washington and the guys concentrated up top do. I
I
think
think
they
they
could
jump
jump
into 6 or
spots.
7.
Yeah,
6 or 7,
no,
I would
I
Yeah.
say.
think a
Easily.
solid six, maybe even 5, depending on
6
how
Yeah,
looking
because
in
I
right
mean,
Washington
now
and
if you
for
still
Oregon
us.
have
do.
if you still have Washington and Oregon undefeated, you're not going to beat them. So that's
No.
4.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm saying a good win here, and I mean like let's say like a 2-score win here could propel them to 6, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be
And then
surprised.
another game where a team could really be propelled into the college football playoff conversation if they win is Ole Miss. They're going to take on number 2 Georgia Bulldogs.
Number 1, Georgia Bulldogs.
Well,
Actually.
no, this is the AP poll.
Oh,
The college
okay.
football playoff
Calls with the
number
number 2,
two. So
right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs are playing Ole Miss. This is going to be interesting as well because Ole Miss has been playing really well.
Oh yeah. Playing really well.
Yeah, Ole Miss is a good squad. I haven't followed them as much lately, but I do
You know
have a good
what?
friend
No,
that
that's not
attends,
true,
and she
Colin.
says the atmosphere is tough. So it's good there. If Georgia was playing at Ole Miss, I would say Ole Miss would have a much higher chance. But I mean, at Sanford, like nighttime at Sanford, I don't see it happening, guys. I'm still taking Georgia on this one.
Georgia's. I think so too, Marco. Georgia's gonna win this game, but you know what, Colin? Even though the college football rankings don't have them at number 1, they're the number 1 team in the nation. I mean, they're
agree.
trying to do something. We've talked about it a few times on the pod now. I think first and in the second episode, trying to three-peat.
Yep.
Still undefeated. In over 20-something games, I believe, right?
Yep. Yep.
So Georgia's the team to beat in the country, man. I mean,
They have been for the last 2 years, and it's nice to beat them.
of course.
They're
yeah.
undefeated
It's
for
easy to win the
almost
first time,
18
but to
games
follow it
now.
up, I completely
Yeah.
agree, Oscar. The
Yeah.
stakes are even higher now for
Yeah.
them, I think.
A three-peat is crazy.
It's going to be an exciting week for college
Oh,
football.
buddy.
Oh yeah.
Sure is. Well, now let's move into the NFL. So last
Oh,
week,
yeah.
week 9 there were a lot of really good games going on. So we can go through a few of the games that we think were the most important. So I think we can start it off with the Dolphins versus the Chiefs.
Big week calling as well in the NFL. Yeah. You know what? Even though we lost this game, I liked how we performed.
I disagree.
Well, let me elaborate on that. I liked how we performed on defense.
I agree with that.
I think our
That is true.
I think our defense is very good, and I think this is a very winnable game that we threw away. The
Very.
only thing we're missing on offense, we know how great this offense is. This is a historical offense so far. It's on pace to break many records. Execution is what we need in big games, and we're golden. And we really have a shot at the Super Bowl. I don't say this not even as a biased Dolphins fan, but really, if we can do execution on offense, and if our defense continues to evolve and come into its own, we have a real shot at winning the Super Bowl this year.
I agree, and I think the big thing it's those turnovers, man. Tua turned the ball over. We can't have that. We need Tua Tagovailoa.
He
Okay.
didn't turn the ball. He didn't turn the ball over at all the entire game.
The pick six, my man.
What that was a fumble. Tyreek Hill
It-
fumbled the ball.
It doesn't matter. Tua.
Why are you blaming Tua?
It's always Tua's fault. Okay. We can't. Okay. I love
Bro.
Tyreek Hill. Okay. I'm gonna glaze Tyreek Hill as much as I can. I don't like Tua. Okay. He
Bro.
throws with the wrong arm. Like,
Okay.
bro.
Okay.
Like,
Come
what
on,
is this
come
guy?
on, come on,
Nah,
come
I'm
on.
just
Okay,
playing.
calm-
Look,
calm
I'll
on,
say
man.
something on that.
it's I saw a stat that the Dolphins have not beat a team that has a winning record. They're 0-3 against teams of winning records.
Yeah, no,
And,
it's true. It's not a
it
stat.
it
It's a
it
fact.
is, and
That's our Achilles heel.
I
We
think
wanna try and make a
this
push.
is something that will motivate the players even more because now they're gonna start facing teams that are pretty decent. And the Dolphins do have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. I like how he played in the second half. I think it was pretty good. It really comes down, like as you said, Oscar, execution. And
Yeah.
we really gotta do that, and we gotta mix it up a bit. We have good running, and we know that. And now that Devon A-Chain will be coming back soon, I think that's a good addition. But
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
very
I
winnable
think-
game.
I think they're just missing that clutch factor right now. They come
Yeah.
into these tight games and then they always blow it at the end. And
Yeah. No, I mean, I
so
think
they
that's
just-
Miami sports in general. I think that's kind of the Miami stigma. I
Yeah.
mean, the Heat are doing the same thing. The
Yeah.
Marlins used to do the same thing. The Panthers, not lately. They've won 2 games in overtime these past 2 games. Congrats to them.
Well, last year they lost in the Stanley Cup. So
Yeah, against the greatest team probably ever known right now, besides the Bruins. Like the Golden Knights are insane, but hey,
I don't know if I generalize Miami sports, but I will say I was actually back home in Miami for this game. This was the first game that I was able to. First couple, I think I've seen 2 or 3 Dolphin games from start to fruition. I saw a lot of strokes of genius by Tua. I really do think he's taken a lot of steps forward.
yeah,
I really do like the way that he doesn't pass to receivers. He throws spots. I think that's very hard to teach.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a lot of intuition. He does have a lot of parallels to a guy like Mahomes, in my opinion. It's kind of funny that they were matched up. They both get they put into some unpredictable situations, and it's something that is worth noting. I will say that on the execution end, just to echo what Oscar said, when you have a chance at the end to close it out there, and we're getting botched snaps, and what looked like a couple times a little bit of confusion on the route side, just holes there that are irreconcilable when you're trying to make a push for the Vince Lombardi trophy. So
Yeah.
I feel like once we start cleaning that up when it matters, it's great. Broncos country, that's awesome. Like we're on this
Broncos
captain
country,
for
let's
that.
ride.
But at the same time, like that doesn't mean anything when we're facing teams like the Philadelphia Eagles and
Yeah.
Kansas City and Buffalo that are the ones that matter down the stretch. It's not about paparazzi. It's not about being Hollywood. It's about. I mean, I would have predicted we won at least one of those 3. Like
Yeah.
this one ended in a interesting fashion. It was in Munich. You can excuse it however you want.
Frankfurt.
But, oh, was it?
Yeah.
But I would still say that I expected more from the Dolphins.
I agree.
And I hope to see that going forward. I hope McDaniels makes the adjustment on the execution end when we're getting down to the wire. I really thought that for a minute that we were becoming a better wire team, and it was discouraging this weekend.
Hey
Yep.
man, all I gotta say is
And,
one thing: in Mike
yep.
we trust.
Yeah. Yep.
I do like
That
him
is
a lot.
true.
I called
can-
that.
can-
I said the Vikings would win.
Yeah.
I love
Can we
Josh
talk
Dobbs.
about Josh Dobbs for a
He
second,
is
please?
Man,
There's no way you don't like him. He's the
I
most
love
talented-
this guy. He's a rocket scientist that's playing in the NFL. This guy should have went to the Colorado School of Mines. Bro, where you at?
Bro,
Where you at?
off with the
This
Colorado
guy
School of
is
Mines.
Go
really
Ore
exciting.
Diggers. 10 and
He's
0,
mentioned
baby.
He's mentioned the Colorado School of Mines in every single episode.
Yeah.
This
I
is
gotta
Podcast,
rep
that's
the
true.
mine, bro.
Bro,
Let's go Ore Diggers.
He set
Well,
the
I'm
Always
record
plug.
I'm
he
not
set
gonna
the
talk
record
about
for
Tyson
consecutive
Bagent, though.
scores with 3 different teams, and
Yeah.
just with the trajectory he's been on to still show up. And mind you, Colin has been a quarterback before I've observed what the film room looks like. For him to come in and command an offense like that with little to no basis, like that's really that's maturity. He's 28 years old, so he's been there, but we haven't seen consistency from him, and now we still don't. This is his third team, but I still see really good strokes from him.
It was
Yeah, I mean,
it was a
what he
great
was
game.
what he was able to pull off is something
Amen.
that the average NFL fan doesn't really understand.
Nope.
He didn't know anyone. He didn't know anyone on this team. He didn't even know
He doesn't
half
know
of
the
his players'
plays.
names.
He doesn't know anything.
Well, he doesn't know any of his players' names. He doesn't know the team at all. Um,
This guy is a
Kevin
stroke of
O'Connell didn't even know
genius.
where Joshua Dobbs was from. What happened was they would call the plays through his helmet, and he would in the huddle he never even heard these plays before. He would
Nope.
just reiterate the plays to his teammates, and then one by one, every receiver would tell him what route I'm running on that play, and
It's
every
crazy.
single time.
That's
Insane.
And
Sandlot.
he was
That's
able
insane.
to throw for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns,
They
and
were literally playing.
helped this team score 31 points on the way to a victory against a solid team in LA.
They were literally playing what we used to do in 4th and 5th grade with Colin as our quarterback, right?
Yeah,
Colin,
that's what it
I'm
is.
just gonna run around. You know what I do? I would run around. That's what Jordan Addison did. And this
No
guy
dig,
just
no post,
F it. Jordan
no dig.
Addison's down there somewhere.
No,
Threw
it-
that thing.
what we're watching is honestly incredible. I mean, this guy, every team he goes to, he makes it work. He puts on a show for everybody, and you know what? I'm rooting for him. The guy is the story of the year so far.
Hey,
I
deep-
love what
Deep,
he's doing.
very, very deep sleepers for playoff in the
Absolutely.
NFC with the
And-
Vikings. Very deep sleepers.
And another crazy game. Oh my
Bro, they're
goodness.
dreaming. They're dreaming right now.
CJ Stroud.
Rookie of the year.
Stop this man.
CJ
All I gotta
Money,
say.
Someone
I
stop
will
this
say
man.
that
Rookie of the year.
I doubted him a lot coming out of college.
I didn't, man.
Okay.
Crazy.
Mark
You know
doesn't
what?
doubt anybody.
Me too. I doubted him
But I'm
because
gonna be
he's a
honest.
Buckeye.
I had my reservations, similarly to the position that I hate to call him out, but similarly to the position that Justin Fields was in, I did not buy his Kool-Aid, and I was right. I really felt that he came from a big program and just didn't rise to the occasion. Bryce Young is doing the same thing right now. Yes,
I
it's
agree.
First year, whatever, but big program launched into the NFL, didn't work out for him. CJ Stroud is proving me wrong right now in a relatively mediocre team. Devin Singletary's great. I saw him in college at FAU. He's got good pieces around him, but holistically, the Texans don't really have stars. So he's really making chicken salad out of chicken, you know what I mean? So
You know, it's cool, and what I like about this Texans teams is, they're young. The receiver core is young. You have Tank Dell, and Tank Dell, actually, C.J. Stroud was the one who told the Texans to draft Tank Dell. So, of course, they have a good connection there, and I think that shows in how he played that game, and as well with Nico Collins playing amazing as well, and I mean, Dalton Schultz. I mean, the tight end is such a crucial position, and we know that. All the great teams have a really good tight end, and I mean, this is a master class of a game from C.J. Stroud, and all I gotta say is he's the rookie of the year. I think it should be unanimous. I don't think you can consider anyone else. Like that's it. It's over.
Well, I mean,
Just give it
there's
to him
people
already.
you can consider, and the season's not done yet. It's not even halfway over. But I mean, you got guys like Puka Nakua that might
Yeah,
be able
of
to.
course,
but-
Puka Nakua. I love that guy,
Yeah.
and he's doing amazing. But
He's
No,
great,
CJ Stroud
he
can
but he's
turned his
teetered.
team around.
Okay, he's
he
great.
turned this
He's
team
kind of
around.
teetered off so far in the midseason, but it's two different levels here. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
CJ
no,
Stroud.
if CJ Stroud can continue this, obviously he's going to win Rookie of
Oh
the Year.
yeah,
But
it'd
this
be
was his
unanimous
first.
at that point.
This was his first. Like he's been playing pretty consistently, pretty well throughout the entire season. But this was his first real game when he actually played lights out, and that's
Yeah.
why everyone's taking notice
Yeah.
right now.
Hey, take
Um,
notice now because this team is coming, and with their O linemen coming back this week and next week and last week, their star O lineman coming back. He has protection now. This team,
Yep.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be
no,
scary. Watch out.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
And then also the Ravens absolutely destroyed the Seahawks. They are
That was a straight
going,
obliteration.
they're playing so well right now. It's
That was a
ridiculous. The
they were
Browns
obliterated.
defense once again playing really, really well, holding the Cardinals to 0 points. And look, Clayton Tune, 11 for 20, 58 yards and 2 interceptions is an atrocious stat line. Deshaun
It's
Watson came
amazing.
back,
Hey,
so
Amari
good for him.
Cooper bounce back game. That guy
Yep.
had a
Yeah.
great game.
Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson, man.
that is true. The Raiders, they fired Josh McDaniels.
Raiders.
We were right. Wait,
man.
Colin, do you have this week's graphic? Did you update the graphic?
Oh yeah. I'll show that afterwards. So
Let's go.
So the Raiders, they fired their coach and they dropped 30 points. Now granted the
Let's go.
Giants suck, but still. Eagles Cowboys, great game. It came down to the
Amazing
end
game.
when once again the Cowboys choked it away.
Yeah. But hey,
Still,
great game by the
Tommy
Eagles.
Tommy DeVito is my goat. He's gonna
Game
figure it out.
of the day, game
Yep.
of the week. What an
saw
amazing game.
small flares
Joe
of this
Burr
game.
is back.
These guys-
Joey B was he was trolling us. He was like, "Look, guys, I look like I suck, but just
He
let
does
me
this.
cook now."
The Bengals do this every year, man.
Let
And
me
I said
cook
this at the
now.
beginning of the year. I'm not worried about the Bengals at all. They always do this. The season doesn't start for them until like week 5. Like,
Man, I mean, if I could take Joe Burrow after week 3 in the MVP, I think I'd take him every single year. But you got to include those first 3 weeks, so tough for him.
Yeah.
But
I would like
mean,
to see how next
masterclass of a
year,
game from him.
as he continues to gain maturity and years under his belt, I would like to see him start out hot and try to, this learning
Yeah.
curve of, slump, the beginning and then, pick it up. I think that
I think
I
Joe
mean,
Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Point
That's
blank
very
period.
Yeah.
Wow.
if you see a couple plays
Wow.
of him maneuvering himself in the pocket where
Right
the
now.
pocket collapses,
Yeah.
he looks really nice. Dude.
He's
Just
up there.
right now, at this
Yeah, I
current
mean,
point in
the
time.
calf injury at the beginning of the year definitely hurt
He
him a lot.
definitely
So now
held
that
him
he's
back.
fully healthy,
When
he's playing
everything's on the
really
line, the Martians got the death beam pointed at Earth. Who do you need to throw a 40-yard bomb for a touchdown? Give
Patrick
Joe
Mahomes.
Burrow.
Something I
I'm
did
taking
want to
high school
mention.
LeBron James, actually.
Something I did want to mention about the Buffalo Bills was that Josh Allen actually in the last 4 years is the lead quarterback to throw interceptions. So I don't know what's going on with him. 68 interceptions in the last, I believe, 4 years. That's not good.
How many?
Yeah, he's
68.
like Brett Favre. He's like Brett Favre. He's
68.
a really good quarterback,
Yeah.
but he just slings it
He
around
just-
everywhere.
He
and
just slings it.
he's not really
I mean,
cautious with the
Man,
football.
that's
didn't
why
know that.
this team is losing games because this guy throws picks on drives that
You
are
know what?
important.
I'm going to disagree with you. Stop the cap. Josh Allen is the only good thing about that team. If Josh Allen
I
weren't
disagree
there,
fully.
I
I
don't think
agree
they'd
with
have 5
Oscar.
wins.
He is
I
I
the
would
think they
factor
disagree.
of
have
this
at
team.
most 2 wins.
And the fact that they're still winning games despite
Mark,
the interceptions, then hey,
I'm going to
like
call you out.
I don't know,
Call out
man.
your bluff. You're
I
not
disagree
watching
with
the
that.
games. You're
Oh,
not watching
I
the
watched
games.
this game fully.
I mean,
I've seen
Jo-
this.
No,
stats,
not this
yeah.
game. Not this game. I'm talking about Bills games in general.
He's
No,
a playmaker. We all know that.
Josh Allen is still really good, but you cannot deny that he's been playing very poorly compared to how.
Well,
he
I
got
don't
in the
think it's
league.
just him. I think the whole team since
I don't
opening
think
week.
so. I do
No,
not think
Absolutely,
so at
but you
all.
look at the stat
Yeah.
line. When you throw 38 passes, you shouldn't only throw for 1 touchdown and 1 interception and 250
The
yards.
You know
volume-
what?
Yeah.
the
I
volume
think
to production, I guess ratio you would say. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't add up with him.
And
There's-
also
there's
it may
three-
come down to coaching. Like let's
No,
be
yeah,
honest.
I
here.
was okay, Mark.
It
yeah,
may come down
yeah.
to some weird plays
There's
that
three major things that's ruining the Bills season this year. Clearly coaching
Injuries
and
as
yeah,
well.
coaching and injuries. It just scheme wise, something's not clicking, right? That's number one. Clearly they haven't been playing football the way they want to, and it's clearly affecting them. Two, what you just said, Mark.
injuries have riddled them.
They're an injury-ridden team every year. It seems like, and that's very sad to say. I mean, yeah.
I mean,
it's just they're always injured. And 3, and no one's talking about this, and it's always happens every year, and it's always true. The Madden cover curse, man.
Yeah,
Soon
actually, yeah. Hey,
as
you're not
soon-
wrong.
As
Not
soon as
wrong.
I saw Josh Allen be the cover athlete for EA Madden 24, I knew the Dolphins were going to win the division. I knew the Bills were going to have a rough year. I knew a lot of things was going to go right for me as a Dolphins fan.
This
Yeah.
is why the NFL is scripted.
Hey man, the script writers are popping off this year, man.
The script be scripting lately, dude. Like, we'll see
Yeah.
how it pans out. Now's when the juicy stuff will come for a lot of these teams where
Yeah. Again,
are
you know,
gonna
you can't count out the Bills. You know, they're still a good team, right? And they have stars on there, and you know, they're still gonna have a winning record. It's just gonna depend on how they play these next few games against some really good teams, and see how Josh Allen plays.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I said this on our first pod. The Bills are gonna miss the playoffs. I said
I
it.
wouldn't be surprised.
interesting.
You know, the
Interesting.
AFC has been a very competitive,
Not
competitive
outrageous,
scene.
but I could see it. Yeah.
I said, hey
Yeah.
man, at the time,
What's
y'all.
the what are the records looking like though?
Yeah,
Well,
come on,
Real
Colin,
question.
bring up
so
that graphic. Bring up the graphic.
here we go.
Oh,
I asked Marco before the weeks, who he thinks who would win each game. So, even though he wasn't on the podcast, he still did his prediction. So I added them to the graphic. Marco's in first place, 21-9.
I will say,
Um,
guys, a little disclaimer. I have not been watching much football. The only games that I knew the outcome were the Dolphins games because we did this after the fact. But every other game, I was pretty clueless. So no cheating, no
he
hanky
still
panky, but
he did
pure
pretty well. He
intuition.
did pretty well. And last week we all were 10-4, except Marco was 9-5. So
yeah, still good.
I'd say that's pretty good. It's pretty solid.
Then what don't you say?
Yep.
Let's get it
Yeah.
going.
Talk
So
about
let's get into the
talk about
NFL
some
Week 10
matchups
predictions.
and see what the
So
plan is this week.
yep, yes sir. So today we got Thursday night football. We got the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. So let's start it
The
off
Bears.
with Mark Francis. Who do you got?
Man, the battle of the mid.
Yeah,
I mean,
Battle of
no,
mid.
the
battle
of
of
the
no,
trash.
This is
Like,
This is
battle
the
of
battle
the
of
worst
trash,
teams in
dude.
the NFL. I don't know
I
who organizes these.
I don't know who
games.
the script writers messed
Why is
up
this on
somewhere, bro.
Thursday? Why
They
is this on
chat
Thursday
GPT
night?
this. They
The
thought the Bears
Why
and
is
the
this on
Panthers were
Thursday
gonna be
everybody-
good.
Yeah.
I still think the Panthers are a better team than the Bears, and they just have better players. And I think it's just Panthers.
You know what, Mark? I'm gonna piggyback off of that. I chose them versus Houston. When Carolina played against, I mean, not Houston. Yeah, wait, Houston Texans.
Yeah, against
I
Houston.
chose them. I chose them versus Houston. I'm gonna choose them now against Chicago. I think Bryce Young is gonna have a much better second half, to the year than he had first half, and I choose the Carolina Panthers in this game, man.
Yeah, good pick.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm not encouraged by Carolina at all. I don't think there's any more encouragement that the Justin Fields and the Bears would give me, but I'm still gonna have to go with the Bears. Sometimes, very
The
very
Bears,
frequently.
Windy City.
Sorry, very infrequently, I do see some sort of a football team. I just don't think Bryce Young is ready to lead this team, so I'm gonna take the Bears here.
Is this also this is DJ Moore's first game against his old team?
Yep.
I'll
That is
take
true.
a DJ Moore. I'll take a Kyle Schwarber. I'll take he's just gonna be out there hitting dingers, even though I really do like DJ Moore. I think that if he continues
Great
to develop
receiver,
some
man. Poor
chemistry with-
situation and
yeah,
two
he's
teams.
he's a scrappy guy. I feel like if him and Justin can connect on a couple, they got.
Well, is
Carolina.
Justin even playing?
don't
I
think
think it's
Justin's
still
playing
the
this
the
game.
rookie
Yeah.
quarterback that lost to
No,
the
the-
Colorado School of Mines.
The guy that said-
Woo!
The guy
Oh
that
my
said that
God,
he was
this
gonna be
guy.
that if football didn't work out, he was gonna just get strong, be a CrossFit athlete, and teach high school.
Go
That's what he
Diggers.
said. So
Yep.
I think we're
Well,
pretty.
I happen to agree with Marco. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears as well.
Wow, we're split 2-2.
In Germany, once again, the Indianapolis Colts
Alemania.
and the New England Patriots.
In
What
Deutschland.
do you guys think?
And Deutschland.
Michael Pittman masterclass game incoming. I don't know. Is an interesting game battle also of the mid. I've noticed there's a stat that was said that the Colts have scored over 20 points in every single, or the only team that scored over 20 points in every single game this season. And I think they continue that, and I think the Colts will take the win over the Patriots.
You know
I
what?
agree. I'm going to go with the Colts as well.
I'm also gonna go with the Colts. I think Jonathan Taylor's gonna have a big game.
JT.
And I think the Patriots, you know what? They're a bit of a tank bowl right now. They're tanking for them picks. And hey man, it's sad to see what's going on in New England there. Actually, no, it's
Oh
not sad.
no,
They
I'm
had
happy.
20 years of
Hey,
I'm happy.
of great
20 years of
success.
domination. It's
Yeah,
Dolphins
no.
country now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Dolphins
echo-
country. Let's swim.
I retract my statement. Sorry, Patriots, you had your time. Now it's your downfall for the next 20 years. You know,
Yeah, I
everything
hope
in the
so.
Marco,
universe
what do you
is
think?
balanced.
I'm gonna echo the group. I like the Colts in this matchup. I think
Right.
the Colts are just figuring it out. I don't think they're particularly bad. They just don't have that many pieces. So I think they'll do what they need to do against Bill Belichick
Yep.
and the Patriots.
Yep.
I agree. And then AFC North, we got the Cleveland Browns versus the
Big
Baltimore
game,
Orioles.
Big game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet here. The Ravens are on fire. They're gonna keep doing it. It's Ravens.
I also think the Ravens are going to win, but this is the Browns tend to be the Ravens' bogey team. You know, two great defenses. Miles
Yeah.
Garrett is playing like the defensive player of the year
Oh,
this
yeah.
year. Colin, could you quickly tell me where are they playing this game at? If they're playing it,
In
It's in
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
oh, you see, if they were playing it in Cleveland, I would have said maybe the Browns have a shot. But you know what? Yeah, the Raven. I don't see the Ravens losing right now to anyone
Me
other
neither.
than maybe the Eagles.
The Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins.
Yeah,
No,
I'll say the
like
same
being so
thing.
serious.
I'll say the same thing. I feel like the Ravens have something going. Putting a team 37-3 to bed. I don't care who it is. I really do like their offensive pieces too. Even before the season started, I've been drinking the Zay Flowers Kool-Aid. I think he's a good player. I think
Oh yeah, Marco. It wasn't even like a bad team. This is Seattle Seahawks, who
Yeah.
when they were playing the game was winning their division.
By the way, Odell Beckham Jr. homecoming game because he played for the Browns. So
yeah. So
I
honestly,
wouldn't be
I would
surprised
say
if he
that
goes off.
The Ravens have
Homecoming.
something going. I think when Lamar's on, he's on, and he's got pieces. So I think that they'll get the job done. I don't know if as easily as the Seahawks. I was the Valkyrie, but I think they'll get it done relatively easy.
Yep, I'm gonna go with the Ravens as well. And then also there are the Packers versus the Steelers. Very interesting game.
Come on,
That's
this is be the
battle of the
Steelers.
suck right there. But the
No,
Steelers have been
I
kind of
disagree.
stagnation lately, so
You know what? I disagree. The Steelers always find a way to get the ugliest 9-8 seasons as
Kind of like how
urin-
LeBron James.
urinating tree. In case any of you guys know who that is, pointed out in his video this week. Hey man, the Steelers, I think they're gonna have a bounce back game. They lost to the Tennessee Titans. I mean, no, did they? I think
They won.
They won
They won against the Titans. Yeah, 16-20.
Screw what I said. You're right. I watched that game. They won at the very end. Deontay Johnson got his first touchdown in I think over a year and a half, right? Something like
Yep.
that.
Yep, 22
And
games or something like
the
that.
Packers are just suck, man, for the first time in 40 years it feels like. And I think the Steelers are gonna get another win, and they're gonna go positive. Who would have thought?
I remember
Marco, what do
telling
you
Colin
think?
the same thing earlier in the season. I always had the Packers since I was born, synonymous with with winning. In that winning column. The Aaron Rodgers effect, and you've had good guys over the years, like even the glory days of Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Eddie Lacy. I just feel like they're off the tracks right now.
Yeah. So
honestly, the Steelers don't give me much encouragement. A lot of my friends over here at UCF are Steelers fans, but they're a scrappy team. They can pull together wins. So I think the Steelers got this, man.
Mike Tomlin, man, he's a great coach.
He is a fantastic coach.
Yeah, I agree with all of you guys. The Steelers, they're not very good, but they always find a way to put it together.
Yeah.
However though, Packers, they suck, but they just came off of a really big win against the Rams, and I feel like the Steelers have to crumble at some point. Yes, they suck. They've lost. They lost like 4 games in a row. They
The
finally
Rams-
beat the Rams.
Colin,
I think,
the Rams gifted them that game.
bro,
Like,
they still
truly.
won. You don't gift anyone a games in the
Interesting
NFL.
take though, Colin.
And
so
I
you're
think
taking the Rams.
the Steelers are going to crumble at some point, and I think this week is the week I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers And I
Okay.
think they'll start to get
Baloney!
things rolling.
Baloney! The Packers aren't winning a game.
Go Pack, go! No.
Okay, man.
You
Well,
see,
anyway,
what
I
about
want you guys.
what
I
about
want all you
this?
guys to know that I'm the only one that picked the Steelers last week, and I was right. All right, so shut up. All right.
Well.
49ers.
How about?
Hold
Yeah,
on.
I was about to
49ers
get into that, man.
49ers versus the Jaguars. This is going to be a good
This
game.
is gonna be
Great
one of
game.
the best games of the week. I
Yep,
mean, man,
except
these
the 49ers just came off of a bye week, and so I'm
And
going
a
to go
3-game
with
losing
them.
streak. But you know what? Debo
Yeah.
Samuel is back. The Niners gonna win this game.
give me the Niners,
somehow,
man.
Some way.
Give me the Niners.
Somehow, some way.
They're
You know
coming.
what?
Brock Purdy, he was farming last week. This week, he's going to be farming the Jags defense. You already know. This guy's about to screw all these guys over. He's about to throw over 400 yards. Christian McCaffrey, masterclass of a game. Debo Samuel. Let's go, baby.
Debo better
49ers.
perform.
Woo!
I'm going to say that all the signs point to the 49ers making a bounce back. I feel like Brock Purdy at this point, he's gone tousled around a little bit. He's got that fire under his belly now. Everything tells me that I should choose the 49ers, but just for argument's sake, I'm gonna take Jacksonville on this one. I think Jacksonville is gonna shock the world, just like they shocked me earlier in the season against the Bills. I think if anybody can do it
You
in
know
like a
what?
spontaneous fashion, I just want to be like completely honest. Like let's just like so the next week when when we take a look, I'm just gonna take Jacksonville on this one.
You know what, Marco? I'm gonna say that the Jaguars are in the same boat as the Dolphins now in the AFC, and it's who have they really beat? You know what? Who have the Jaguars really beat? They beat the Bills, but I mean, look at the Bills, man. They're not playing great.
That's true. That's true.
So
I-
who
The-
have
the-
they
the-
really?
they're
I just want to
facing-
throw. I just want to throw something interesting, a little fork. I'll sacrifice, a dub in the
winning
column
record.
next week.
Oh my
I'll
God.
sacrifice it to spice things up. This is in my opinion, a really telling matchup. If the Jags can inch away with this, they're really primed guys.
No,
in
yeah,
the
They're
AFC right
facing
now.
a defensive line that now has added Chase Young, and this is going to be insane.
Yeah, no,
This
that's
is
crazy.
it's gonna be
yeah.
this is gonna be like double-digit sacks in a game. Like I honestly would not be
It might
surprised
actually happen.
because I mean this defensive line this is scary. Like
Poor
this is
Trevor
really scary.
Lawrence. Poor Trevor
Oh yeah,
Lawrence, man.
that long hair might want to cut it.
And then we got the Saints versus the Minnesota Vikings. So Josh Dobbs, he has another week to get acclimated to this offense. What do you guys think is going to happen in this one?
I think I got the Saints in this one. Derek Carr is a good quarterback, and they always find some ways to win games, and I like the Saints. I like Derek Carr, and I think it's gonna be a nice game.
You know what?
It's be a close one.
This is gonna be as we said earlier, incorrectly, but I think this time it applies. The battle of mid, and you know what? I think this has the potential to be the most competitive. Now, these aren't the two best teams in the league, but I think this has the opportunity to be the most competitive game of the week.
Yep.
Two basically evenly matched teams who really need a win, a desperation win, in the same conference. So it's an important game.
Yep.
You know what? I really don't know who to pick, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Saints. I just have a feeling the Vikings. I don't know. I think they might find a way to lose the game rather than the Saints win the game. I think it's gonna
I
come down
agree.
to someone's gonna find a way to lose the game rather than
Someone win.
clearly winning
Mhm.
it.
Marco, what about you?
Yeah, so all good points by the way. I could echo a lot of that. I do feel like Josh Dobbs, I was looking at his history. He doesn't really have anything consistent to base himself off, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I really do feel like the Vikings have been a really inconsistent team. I also don't like the fact that Jay Jettas is still out. That makes me uncomfortable. I think he is the cornerstone of that franchise. So even though I thought that, hey, let's continue this Josh Dobbs hype, at the end of the day, he is still a second-rate quarterback, and Derek Carr, just quite frankly, is more established. I
Yep.
think the Saints are going to find a way to edge it out here.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
Well, Well, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I like Josh Dobbs, and they dropped 30 something points on the Buccaneers
I
last week.
like I
So I
like
mean,
Josh
they
Dobbs
definitely
too.
can.
Don't
I
get
like
me
him a
wrong.
lot.
Yeah,
He's
great
just
player.
inconsistent.
Well,
I
there's
do like
also
him too.
the Texans and the Cincinnati Bengals. I
Boys,
personally, I think C.J. Stroud is gonna have a down game, and I think
Yeah,
the
I think so
Bengals
as well.
defense
boys,
is gonna rock them.
Yeah.
boys. This game has the potential to be an amazing game
I
because
disagree completely.
what?
I
I don't. The
disagree.
Texans are not that good. The Texans are not
No,
that good.
no. I don't think they're good. And you know what? I think they're gonna lose, or even lose badly. But somehow, some way, think about it. What if CJ Stroud wins? The conversations,
That's amazing.
the uncomfortable conversations that will have to be had. If this is just a fantasy dream, uh, I'm gonna pick the Bengals. It's the clear choice. The Bengals are a way better team, defensively, offensively, special teams, whatever you want to call it, coaching, uh,
Yeah, well, special
history
teams
wise.
especially because they have a running back. The Texans have a running back kicking their field goals for them.
Yeah, literally.
As
So
the as the resident Get It Right Saturday Night special teams analyst, that was really good form for a backup running back. When they say he booted that, like that was pretty good. That's a 33-yarder, by the way, and that was good from 40-ish. So respect to the man. No kicking tee, no
That is our
experience.
that's
I
our
I
kicking specialist, everybody.
I almost completely will echo what Oscar said there. The conversations if CJ Stroud and company can pull this off will be unparalleled. I think while this might not, people get excited, things happen, but coming off of the week that he had and the conversation surrounding him, this would be insane. But I just really like the Bengals right now in the
Yeah,
AFC, so
I gotta go
I'm
the
going
same. I
Cincy.
think it's gonna be the Bengals as well. I think they're just a better team overall and just knock it out.
I'm taking Cincy
And then
here.
we got Will Levis versus Baker Mayfield and Titans versus the Buccaneers.
Man, man, again another battle of the mid, but I mean, I think the Bucks have a better team overall.
I think so too. But after the demoralizing win against Houston last week, I think, and the Titans being hungry with almost winning against the Steelers, I think the Titans are going to edge this one out. Derrick Henry possibly having a big game.
It's definitely possible, yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah. I'm
just
gonna go
gonna
with the
have to pick them.
Buccaneers.
No,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks also.
Yeah,
Marco?
this one I don't know too much about. Haven't followed either team very well, but
Yeah.
even though he gets a lot of flack, if if given the opportunity to do so, I trust Baker Mayfield in this game right here. And I do like the Bucks defense. I do think that they can make stops when they need to.
Amen.
Even since the Brady days, So
The
Yeah.
the Baker Mayfield take is great. I said this, I think, in our first pod. Baker Mayfield is having a great year this year. Stats wise, just eye test wise, you see him play. He's playing great, and you know what? I think a really good team who might not have a good quarterback next year, or someone who might need a good quarterback. Maybe they pick him up from the Bucks next year. I think Baker Mayfield is starting to solidify himself as a good top 15 maybe quarterback in the NFL.
I agree.
Not bad.
I agree.
And then in the later window of games, we got the Lions versus the Chargers.
This is gonna be an amazing game.
Great
I,
game.
I think this would be such a good game. Both really, really high level offenses. It's gonna be such. I mean, I can go on and off about this game, and it's really, really tough to pick a winner. So, I really don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys want to say before I think I decide on a winner, because I'm really curious what you guys think. But
My mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. Logic dictates the Lions have to win this game. They've been a better team the whole year. They've been playing great. Jared Goof is playing like Jared Goff.
Jared Goof.
Like he's playing like Jared Goat. Like he's playing great. The Lions offense is great. Dan Campbell's coaching incredible. He's definitely number one candidate to win Coach of the Year this year.
I love that guy. Mike McDaniels
but-
is better though.
Yeah, but my body is telling me the Chargers, man. I think somehow, some way, they're gonna find a way to win this game, man. And I know it's a stupid pick. The Lions should win this game, but give me the Chargers.
Honestly, from what I've seen so far in some of the Lions games, because if I'm not mistaken, the Lions have played a couple primetime games since the season started. I will say that I don't know too much about the Chargers this year, and I do know about the Lions. So I do like the direction that the Lions are going in. I do think that they have a lot of sleeper guys that have shown up when they needed to. I'm gonna mention Sam Laporta here. I like Sam Laporta. I really like Amon-Ra. I think that he was a sleeper a couple years ago. He's now bust on the scene. I really do think that they have good pieces. Their defense is very solid as well. So I'm taking Detroit on this one. Regardless of home or away, I would pick Detroit on this one.
I'm gonna go the same thing. I think I gotta go Detroit here, and with the possibility of David Montgomery coming back this week as well, very very nice addition. So Jahmyr Gibbs, fantasy owners, I'm sorry, the nice run is over, but I think the Lions are gonna take this one. I think it's gonna be a really good game though.
Yeah,
Should be.
I think it's going to be a good game as well. I was in between, but I think I'm going to go with the Lions.
Yeah,
and then also there are the Falcons versus the Cardinals.
Guys, like I don't think we have to say anything. I don't think we can say a word.
That last time I said that the Broncos beat the Chiefs. So
Look.
Okay, but it's Broncos country.
Kyler Murray is coming back.
Oh, is he?
Kyler Murray is coming back. And the Falcons are still going to win.
I don't know about that.
I think the Falcons are still going to win. I think Kyler Murray's trash. That boy's dude. Get that man on Call of Duty, bro. That boy's in phase.
These Cardinals,
phase up.
Like, even teams that I haven't watched, at least I've heard something about them. The Cardinals, in my opinion, are like the Detroit Pistons in the NBA. Like, who's heard of them? Like, they have fallen off.
Hey, not too much on the Pistons, man.
They have fallen off in incomprehensible ways. I really do feel like they have just wow. Like I don't really have much words for them.
Not too much on my boy.
Irrelevance is an understatement. So, I'm definitely gonna take the Falcons. I don't even know who's on the Falcons anymore, but the Cardinals are just
Kyle Pitts,
pitiful.
Bijan Robinson,
pitiful.
Desmond Ridder.
So,
trash.
Yeah, I'll take that trio over whatever's going on in Tempe.
Emiro Benjamin, and I don't even know.
Yeah, man, I gotta pick the Falcons on this one. I just can't bring myself to pick the Cardinals. Not that I want to. Don't think they're a good team. Don't like anything about them. But I mean, I think the Falcons just have a bounce back game this week. Get back to 500.
What you thinking, Furs?
Furs is crazy.
I think the Falcons are going to win this one as well. And then next we have the
Sunday night game.
New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys.
What type of game is that, bro? Cowboys. That's a knee slapper. The Giants. If someone look.
Don't hate on my boy Danny DeVito like that.
Whoa.
Best quarterback to ever come out of Syracuse. He's fantastic.
Cowboys.
Who's Danny Dimes? I only know Danny Pennies.
He's done. Danny Dimes is done. He's out. He's done.
I know exactly.
I don't even
Cowboys.
talk about this one. I'm picking Cowboys.
Yeah, come on now, Cowboys.
I think
Can
the
we
Giants
move on, Colin?
The Giants
all right. Commanders versus the Seahawks. All right, can we move past this one as well? Okay.
Yeah,
Jets
Seahawks.
versus the Raiders.
Coach K,
Marco, are you gonna pick the Seahawks? Or are you moving past that one as well?
I'm not picking the Seahawks, dude.
Everyone's picking the Seahawks. Come on. They need this game after the absolute thrashing they received in Baltimore. Come on. The Seahawks.
You're taking America's team?
So Marco, you got the Seahawks?
Yeah. No, I don't have the Seahawks.
You got the Commanders?
Actually, the Commanders are garbage. I'm picking the Hawks actually.
Okay, so we can move past that.
Very
All right,
good.
Sorry,
Jets versus.
I was lost in space. I was not listening for a second.
Bro was on 90 ping right there.
I was like,
Bro's
Alright.
lagging.
Sunday Night Football, Jets versus Raiders. Can we move past this one as
No, you know what?
Ooh.
Don't move past it.
well? Oh, we're not moving past this. Well,
No, don't
why?
move past it because
Why?
because
got the
I think
Jets.
these are two evenly matched teams.
Okay.
What?
Okay, buddy.
Come
Okay.
on. Come
I
on.
think so.
Raider Nation, baby.
I
Let's
think
go, Raiders.
I think the Jets have a great defense. They found ways to win games. What are they? 4-5, right?
I'm
I
going
don't flipping
Jets.
know,
If
man.
I'm
I
not
just know that
mistaken.
they suck.
Yes,
going
I think
Jets.
they're 4-5, and so I believe they can find a way to maybe win this
Wow.
game. I don't personally.
Interesting.
I can sorry. I can see them finding a way to win this game. Do I go with Jets?
I'm
I
gonna
don't
take
know,
the
man.
Jets.
It's a
I'll be that
toss-up.
guy. I'll take the Jets.
Raider Nation, baby. Raiders.
If Devontae Adams gets the ball more than 8 times,
With Sauce Gardner on him, that guy's not getting the ball, bro. Are you joking?
I think well, if Devontae Adams gets the ball more than 8 times, I think the Raiders will win. If not, I don't know why, man. You know what? I'm gonna go with Marco. I have to pick a Jets. The
It's
Raiders
crazy.
need to prove to
Crazy,
me
man.
that they can
Crazy.
beat
The Raiders proved it last
a
week, bro.
decent team. Bro, they
They
beat
proved it.
one of the worst teams in the league.
It
What are you
doesn't
talking
matter,
about?
bro. It
They beat
doesn't
the
matter.
Giants.
We got
Raiders.
Jets, Raiders. Colin, I'm
Oh
guessing
my
you're up
God.
with the Raiders too.
Yeah, the Jets are really bad. I think the Raiders are
Okay.
gonna stomp on them.
So we got a
Yeah.
we got a split house here.
Okay. Well, Monday night Broncos versus the Bills.
4 words to say.
Oh no. Stop it.
Broncos country. Let's
die.
mother effing ride, baby. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's
You know
ride.
what?
Let's
You know
go.
what? You know what?
Let's go.
I
This
flipped
should
my
be an automatic skip.
I flipped my I flipped my pick. I think the Raiders win, but the Broncos win.
So you're
Broncos
going with the
country.
Raiders and the Broncos.
Yes.
Here in the Colorado School of
What?
Mines, we are 20 minutes west of Denver.
Bro,
I
no
am
one
In
cares.
the area
bro.
of Denver. I am the area of the Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride, baby. You already know.
You know,
Woo!
Russell Wilson's gonna show Josh Allen what it means to be a dual threat quarterback, like in the
Oh,
old
yeah.
days. The Denver defense has been looking good, and I think the Bills are gonna poop the bed.
Go Ordiggers. I mean Broncos. Sorry.
Well, I'm hoping that the Broncos win, but I got to go with the Bills because I want my
Yeah.
record to, stay pretty high.
Yeah,
All
no,
right, well,
Broncos country. Let's
that
ride.
wraps it up with all of the game predictions for Week 10 in the NFL, and that also brings an end to the third episode of the Get It Right Saturday Night podcast.
Our longest pod so far. Our longest
Yep.
pod so far.
But,
Absolutely.
Definitely worth it. Thank you guys so much for watching the third episode of the reboot of the Get It Right Saturday Night podcast. We hope you guys get it right every Saturday night because you bet we do. And we hope to see you next Saturday on the next episode. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Let's get it right. Saturday night. Woo, baby. Let's go.
See you guys.
Yep. See you,
And
boys.
of course, thank you, Marco, for coming on.